For votes, I have no desire to propagate any political ideology, and I do not wish to stand for elections. But I'm proud to stand here as a representative of the Calcutta Debating Circle, the Calcutta Club, the city of Calcutta, and the country of India that I'm proud to belong to. My co-members of the Calcutta Club, my co-citizens of this great city, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard many a definition of secularism from the other side to illustrate why it is a sham. We have heard that political secularism is a sham. We've heard social secularism is a sham. We've heard philosophical secularism is a sham. So my argument will predominantly be four things: to prove to you that political secularism is not a sham, to prove to you social secularism is not a sham, to prove to you philosophical secularism is not a sham, and finally I will wear my hat as a professor of neurosurgery and tell you why, neurosurgically speaking, secularism cannot be a sham as well. Political secularism, we have heard, is a sham. We agree with Mr. Nigam when he says we have not yet in this country reached equality before the law. We agree with Shazia when she says that Muslims have been exploited by our political parties in the name of secularism. But it is our humble contention from this side of the floor that because we have not achieved the aims of secularism, because secularism has been distorted by our political masters for their individual gains, does not mean you can throw the baby out with the bathwater and say that political secularism should be thrown out. Ladies and gentlemen, when the ideal has escaped you, you must not escape the ideal. If you haven't reached the ideal, it is not good enough to say that the ideal is a sham. You and I have to strive to reach that ideal, and that is why we feel on this side that secularism cannot be a sham. In this great club, a decade ago, you took a decision of sexual equality, and you said men and women will go and roam in this club and all will be members. You changed the name of a bar on the first floor from men's bar to the bar upstairs. But I have yet to see any ladies in that bar, because you have not achieved your ideal of sexual equality. By the same argument, you should now throw out all your women members and say we haven't achieved this ideal, so it is a sham. Besides, ladies and gentlemen, if secularism is a sham, we had the word democracy, democratic in our preamble 3 decades before we introduced the word secularism. And if you look at this, the party in power in this state conducting the panchayat elections last year, or you look at the party in power at the center conducting the elections in Maharashtra, then we should say democracy is also a sham. Let's throw that out as well of our preamble by the same argument. Social secularism we have heard about. Religion we have heard about. In this great country of yours, religion is called dharma. And what is dharma? Dharma is the universal law of nature. A young man from this city went to Chicago and said, and I quote, "We accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation that has sheltered the persecuted and refugees of all religions and all nations on this earth." I am proud to be a Bengali who's like a Bengali who said this in Chicago. The 13th Rog Edict of Ashoka said, there should be no declared honor of one's religion, nor should there be any condemnation of others' religions. In this country, and Mr. Vivek Reddy came here and told us, in India, secularism means no religion. No, sir. In India, secularism does not mean exclusion of religions. Secularism means embracing all religions. That is what this country has said. It's a shame you can't read Bengali, but the great Rabindranath Tagore said, এসো এসো আর্য, এসো অনার্য, এসো হিন্দু মুসলমান, এসো এসো আজ তুমি ইংরাজ, এসো এসো খ্রিস্টান, and went on to say, দেব আর নেব, মিলাবো মিলাবে, যাবে না ফিরে এই ভারতের মহামানবের সাগর তীরে। Our concept of secularism is all-embracing. Religion, on a philosophical note, is my personal belief. Neither the state or anybody else has anything to do with it. To us, secularism means that I can practice my religion, whatever it is. But it doesn't mean that I have the right to decide who else will enter my temple, who else will enter my mosque, who else will enter my church. You have to realize that secularism is not for the God of man. Secularism is for the good of man. It is not for the appeasement of the majority. It is not for the appeasement of the minority. Secularism is for the appeasement of every single citizen of our land. And that's what we believe from this side. And finally, to put on my hat as a neurosurgeon, I have to say that it pains me when I look at a human brain and think, how can anybody say this is a Muslim brain or a Hindu brain or a Christian or Buddhist brain? Because every brain looks exactly the same. It therefore pains me the same when I see blood on that brain as a result of hatred of religion caused in universities in this country. It hurts me equally when I see blood on the brain in this city because certain groups of people in this city are allowed to drive motorcycles without helmets and end up with the same amount of blood on their brain. Hate as I do to say it, religious love and religious hatred produce the same amount of blood in the human brain to a neurosurgical perception. And hence, to conclude, I have to tell you, it is our contention from this side that if secularism is a sham, democracy is in doldrums, religion is retrograde, values are vicious, and you people are at peril. Members of the Calcutta Club, this club was founded in 1907 because of an act of a Christian viceroy, with major Hindu businessmen get land from a Brahmo scholar to set up a club where the first employees were Muslims. And you are honorable members of this club. Remember that when you cast your vote. And so I remain completely opposed to this motion. Thank you very much.